We all have guilty pleasures when it comes to films. One of mine happens to be Avatar. Avatar is back in the cinema, so I thought it'd be a good time to revisit Pandora and see if I enjoyed it as much today as I did back in 2009.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
Where I went to see it about 3 or 4 times, I think, in the cinema.
Oh, suit you, sir.
Back then, I wasn't the battle-scarred movie enthusiast I am today. Back then, life was simpler, and I was happy to pop my brain out of its natural resting place, plop it into a bowling bag, and sit back and watch the pretty lights. And boy, were they pretty. Avatar, in 2009, was a visual masterpiece. James Cameron pushed 3D to its limits at the time and created something quite brilliant. It felt unique at the time to offer us a film that was 90% plus CGI, yet not to make it feel like you were watching someone playing a video game. There was a decent cast as well. We had Ripley.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Letty.
Right here, right now.
Gamora.
I'm gonna die surrounded by the biggest idiots in the galaxy.
Frank Buffet.
My sister's gonna have my baby!
And Stephen Lang.
You got some hard kids showing up in this neighborhood.
There's also Sam Worthington, yeah, he was in this film. For anyone living under a rock, Avatar is a sci-fi film written and directed by James Cameron. Budget of the film was roughly 237 million, which for back in 2009 was some serious cheddar. And you can imagine there are a lot of squeaky bums at 20th Century Fox, because, you know, they like to make money and don't like to spend it.
Show me the money.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, have they made their money back, to the tune of 2.8 billion worldwide to date. Cameron has been working on it for a long time. He started writing it back in 1994, but because he didn't feel the technology was there to achieve his vision, he didn't come back to it till about 2005, where he worked on the language of the Na'vi and then on the screenplay in 2006. Avatar is set in the mid-22nd century, where humans were colonised in a world called Pandora. I say a world, it was a moon. The reason for this, a valuable mineral called unobtainium. Yes, that's right.
Unobtainium. Because this little grey rock sells for 20 million a kilo.
However, the expansion of the project was threatening the existence of a local tribe called the Na'vi. To try and ease tensions with the Na'vi, the humans would use Na'vi avatars, essentially downloading their brain into it to become one of them. They introduced medicine and education to the Na'vi. However, the Na'vi, being a tribe that live in harmony with nature, are still not really happy with what the humans are doing. Bring in our main protagonist, Sam Sandalwood, a paraplegic marine down on his luck. But as luck would have it, his more successful and intelligent twin dies.
You lucky bastard!
His twin happens to be an operator of one of these avatars, and so Sam Beechwood takes his place because, you know, that's the thing you can do. Rather than calibrate it to someone who's intelligent enough with a scientific background to take it on, you know, just give it to this grunt.
Not a great plan.
Anyway, he gets shipped off to Pandora and goes on his first mission, looking after Ripley and Norm. But they get attacked by a big fucking armour-plated dog rat, and he gets separated from the team and has to fend for himself overnight, which is almost certain death. This is where we get to meet Gamora, who goes to kill him, but a mystical tree seed lands on her bow and she decides against it. Later, she saves him from a pack of mini-armoured rat dogs, and he slowly integrates into her tribe. We're introduced to Stephen Lang's character, Colonel Miles Quidditch, head of the security force of the human colonisers. He promises Sam Oakwood he'll get his legs restored if he can provide good intel about the Na'vi and their home, Giant Home Tree, which just so happens to be on the biggest mineral deposit of unobtainium in this part of the galaxy. As Sam Mahoganywood learns more about the Na'vi, he falls in love with their way of life, and with Gamora too, siding with the Na'vi over the humans. This all comes to a crescendo when Colonel Quidditch gets wind of this and strikes at Home Tree, destroying it. With the tree felled and the Na'vi scattered, Sam Pinewood unites them and other clans to strike back at the humans. This leads to a war, with the Na'vi and the other clans assisted with Ripley, Letty and Norm.
Fuck yeah! Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah!
And that's it. Who's going to win? Will it be the colonisers with their high-tech weaponry? Or will it be the tribes and their weird and wonderful animals and nature? Well, only one way to find out, and that's to watch it. This story isn't unique in movies or real life. We had The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise, or Dances with Wolves. There are also stories back in the wild, wild west of the Americas when Americans would be captured by the Indians and be integrated into their tribe. And when found by Westerners and taken back to civilization, they would then find a way to escape back to the tribe because they had a purpose there. They had a role, and likely by that that point maybe a wife and child. That simple way of life was far more fulfilling for them than that of a Western civilization that itself wasn't really that civilized. And yet the same couldn't be said for an Indian integrating into Western civilization. They would always go back to their tribe. So what did I think of it watching it 13 years later? Well, for a start, the visuals are still beautiful and impressive to see, and honestly at the moment they are better than a lot of the films we're seeing today, which is mad. It's 13 years ago, and Christ, it makes She-Hulk and Thor look like In the Night Garden. The music for the show is great. It was composed by James Horner, who actually won an Oscar for it for Best Achievement in Music written for a motion picture back in 2009. He's also got credits for Titanic and won Oscars for A Beautiful Mind, Titanic again twice, Braveheart, Aliens. So the guy knows what he's doing, and it shows. It's just fantastic. Sam Teakwood is still as wooden as ever, and let's be honest, that's never likely to change. The story of a big mega corporation shitting on a little guy has never been more based than it is today. With the world we live in, where governments and big corps seem to be slowly merging into one, all of it seems a bit on the nose today.
Disgusting!
The pacing is still great. I mean, for a film that is 2 hours and 40 minutes long, there are very few parts which you feel drag. I mean, I've probably watched this film about 8 times now, so I'll find some scenes a little bit slow. However, for someone watching it for the first time, I doubt you'd feel that, because there's so much going on in every scene that you are literally dazzled with the visuals. Is this a perfect film? No. No film is. Sam Pinewood isn't the most charismatic actor in the world, and for the plot to move forward, there are a little too many conveniences, such as Sam Ashwood's twin dying at the right time, Sam Maplewood being the only man for the job.
You serious?
Lucky, Sam Redwood is also military trained, which is just the right skill needed for this.
Hey! Fuck off!
The one woman to bring him into the tribe and for him to fall in love with just happens to be the tribe leader's daughter, because if it was anyone else, he would have just been killed.
Not a great plan.
Also, in this film, it is possible to transfer the consciousness of a human into a tree and then into an avatar.
Hey! Fuck off!
Other than that though, I still have to recommend this film. It's a great visual feast and thoroughly entertaining. Take it for what it is, but please don't think about it too hard, because like brain freeze, it will make your head hurt. Predictions for the upcoming Avatar films? Will they be as boundary pushing as the original? I don't think so. I think visually it'll be stunning and better than anything we've seen over the last few years, but I don't believe it will be groundbreaking. I hope I'm wrong. The storyline, being Cameron, is likely to be some sort of ecological message. It's nice to see a strong family bond in there playing through.
This family is our fortress.
Will I go see it? Does a Catholic priest love little boys? Hell yeah, I'll go see it. Anything for a few hours of my brain in a bowling bag and a big cheesy grin on my face. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Have a good weekend.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.